Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, lived a young woman named Cinderella. She was no longer the naive girl trapped in a world of despair. With a sharp mind and an inner strength that surprised even her, Cinderella had grown into a woman capable of standing her ground. Her stepmother and stepsisters, jealous of her intelligence and resilience, never fully understood her power. They were too focused on their own vanity and expectations of a fairy tale ending. One day, the kingdom announced a grand ball to celebrate the return of the king's son from his studies abroad. It was an event that every young woman in the kingdom dreamed of attending, but Cinderella had no interest in finding a prince to rescue her. She had long since realized that she didn't need anyone to save her. But when her stepsisters, who were eager to capture the prince's attention, mocked her for not attending, she made an unexpected decision. She didn't want the prince, but she did want to prove something. So, with a wave of her hand and a confident smile, she cast her own spell not with magic, but with the tools and knowledge she'd acquired over the years. Using a bit of creativity, Cinderella transformed an old, discarded coat into a sleek, modern gown. Her glass slippers, which had once symbolized fragility, were replaced with sturdy, fashionable boots that made her feel unstoppable. And the pumpkin? Well, it became a sleek, black sports car she had designed and built with the help of a local mechanic. At the ball, all eyes turned to her as she walked in, not with the intent of impressing the prince, but to make her presence known. The prince, no longer the naive romantic of fairy tales, noticed something different about Cinderella. She wasn't like the others. She had confidence, independence, and an air of mystery that intrigued him more than any beauty ever could. They struck up a conversation, one where Cinderella spoke passionately about her designs and her dreams. The prince, fascinated by her intelligence, found himself drawn to her not for her beauty, but for her vision. They spent the rest of the evening discussing innovation and the future. When the clock struck midnight, Cinderella didn't flee in fear. She simply left, as she had things to do the next morning. But as she stepped into her car, the prince, who had been so captivated by her intellect and spirit, realized he didn't want her to vanish from his life. The next day, he didn't send out a search party for a missing shoe. Instead, he began tracking her through her designs, hoping to find the genius behind them. It didn't take long. He found her, standing proudly in her workshop, creating more than just beautiful things. She was creating a legacy. The prince, now a man of vision and ideas, didn't need to rescue her. Instead, he admired her as a partner, someone who challenged him to see the world differently. And so, Cinderella didn't live happily ever after because of the prince. She lived happily ever after because she had learned that true power comes from within, and with it, she could create her own destiny.